Hi guys, today we're going to talk a little bit about how to spot scrapper and fake pins in Disney pin trading. There is a difference between what a scrapper pin is and what a fake pin is. Scrapper pins are pins that are made in Disney authorised factories, but for whatever reason the pin does not pass quality control and it is supposed to be removed and destroyed. However, people will sometimes take these and put them into circulation. Fake pins are pins made in non-authorised factories out of discarded moulds. Typically you would find that the quality of these pins are much lower than a normal Disney pin. And today we're going to talk a little bit about how to spot a fake pin. Previously, people were told that if they could find some magnets that they could find out if their pin was a fake. Older fake pins will usually stick to magnets, however some of the newer pins will not stick to magnets. As you can see with the back of this Darth Maul pin, the pin does not stick to the magnets. However, as I just mentioned, some of the older fake pins will stick to magnets. This Jungle Cruise boat is made out of a magnetic type of metal, and so when you get your magnets, it will stick to them. Spotting a fake pin becomes easier the more that you do it. As you can see with this Donald name tag, there are obvious issues with the front of the pin. When you turn the pin into the light, you can see the brush strokes and you can also see dents in the enamel. On the back of the pin, you can see that the Mickey waffling does not meet the edge of the pin. Sometimes this can be a quality control issue in Disney pins, however it is most common in fakes. As you can also see, this pin does not pass the magnet test. This Darth Maul pin is another good example of a fake pin. As you can see from the front of the pin, there are a lot of brush strokes in the enamel. But also when you turn the pin over, there are issues with the border. As you can see, the Mickey waffle does not meet the edge. The pin itself is made of a very lightweight metal, which is not something you would typically find in a Disney pin. You can also see that all of the edges around the pin are rather rough. You would expect to find smooth edges on a Disney pin. Since the metal is so lightweight, it is very easy to bend the pin, which is not something you should be able to do. At first glance, this Maleficent candy apple pin looks pretty good. However, when you turn it over, there is an issue with the bottom right hand corner of the pin. Yes, the Mickey waffling meets all the edges, however, the bottom right hand corner is missing part of its waffle. Usually this is a telltale sign of a scrapper or a fake. As you can see on the front of the pin, the hidden Mickey symbol is very well defined. This is something you would usually find on a Disney pin. This Jolly Roger pin has several things wrong with it. As you can see from the front, it is easily scratched, and also once you turn it over there are several issues on the back. The stamping of the Mickey waffle is very light. On the left hand side of the pin, the metal is very metallic, but on the right it is a scratchy matte. As you can see next to the post, there are also no nubs. You would normally look for nubs on a pin, as this indicates that it is a good pin. On this Maleficent pin, there are some issues with the waffling on the back. As you can see, the Mickey heads are a slightly different shape to what they're supposed to be. Where the ear meets the head, it's supposed to have a very sharp point. However, on this pin, where the ear meets the head, it's quite rounded, and we call this pinching. Another thing to look out for in pins is colour variation. Some colour variation is normal since some pins are made in different factories at different times. However, if the colours look very unusual, then this is probably a fake pin. Pins are also supposed to have a high gloss finish. This bell does not have a high gloss finish. The back of this pin is slightly oxidised. This in itself is not unusual. Some older pins will have metal oxidation, but alongside the wonky Disney logo, you know this is definitely a fake pin. Hidden Mickey pins are the most commonly faked pin. This Hoplo is a hidden Mickey. As you can tell from its foot, it has a little Mickey symbol on it. However, the Mickey symbol is more like a blob. Normally the Mickey would be more highly defined than this. You can also see the brush strokes in the enamel. Hidden Mickey pins do not normally have a Mickey waffle on the back. They normally have this hammered metal style. As you can also see, there are no nubs next to the post, and the post has been glued to the pin. Normally you would find that a post is riveted to a pin for security. On older hidden Mickey pins, it is quite common to find spelling errors in the stamping. These days it is a lot less common. Now I'm going to show you a side-by-side comparison of two vinylmation pins. As you can see, the pin on the right is a real pin and the pin on the left is a fake pin. There is a slight difference in the size of the pins. The real pin is slightly larger. First, I'm going to talk about the real pin a bit more in depth. As you can see from the front, the colours are a lot more vibrant than the fake pin. There is no run of the colours over the metal, and there are no dips or paint strokes in the enamel. The pin also has a very high gloss finish, which is what you would expect to find. On the back, the waffling meets all the edges, and there is no pinching in the ears. You can see the nubs next to the post, and that the post has been riveted to the pin. The stamping is very clear, and there is no spelling errors. Next, I will talk about the fake pin. As you can see from the front, brushstrokes are visible. You can also see that there is dipping in the enamel towards the toes, where the paint has not been correctly inlaid in the pin. On the back of the pin, you can see on the left hand side of the pin there is a slight border where the Mickey waffling does not meet the edge. But you can also tell that the nubs and the post are very similar to the one on the real pin. It looks like it has been riveted. The nubs are a similar size and distance away from the pin and in the correct position, and the stamping is of a similar size and there are no spelling errors. I hope this video has given you some useful information on the types of things to look out for in spotting fake pins. Happy pin trading! Disclaimer: there is no fail-proof way to spot a fake or a scrapper pin. It is a combination of practice and experience. Some of the issues that we've talked about in this video can occur in pins bought from parks and online stores. These pins are pins that have slipped by the quality control at Disney, and recently Disney have not been as stringent on their quality control as they have been in previous years, and so more pins are slipping by that have problems. As I said earlier, spotting scrappers and fakes becomes easier the more that you see them and practice identifying them. Having a bad border or smudges does not immediately mean that a pin is a scrapper or a fake. However, a combination of what the pin looks like and where you got it from will indicate whether or not the pin is likely to be faked or scrapped. A common place to find fake or scrap pins, unfortunately, is on cast member lanyards. Not all cast members are collectors, and so they cannot spot faked or scrap pins, and they usually don't have training to spot a fake or a scrap pin. If a member of public points out a fake or a scrap pin on a cast member lanyard, the cast member is supposed to remove that pin from their lanyard and take it out of circulation. Holidaymakers that visit Disneyland will often buy pin lots off of auction sites online to then trade in park. To exploit an unfortunate loophole in pin trading, these pins are usually billed as tradable. However, tradable does not mean that they are authentic. They are two very different things. A A class member cannot turn down a trade from a member of public, no matter if the pin is authentic or not. They must take the trade. Unfortunately, this is how fakes get into circulation. People will take fakes into the parks and they will trade them through this loophole with a cast member, either taking a real pin off of their lanyard or replacing it with another fake unknowingly. The reason fake and scrapper pins are frowned upon in the pin community is because scrappers and fakes devalue the real pins. If you have a rare pin that may be worth several $100s, if a fake one suddenly appears up online for much cheaper, then suddenly the value of your real pin goes dramatically down. To find out more about recommended sellers, visit the PSA Facebook page at www.facebook.com/groups/PSA.resource.